Okay, this is a quick video explaining your final project. So you'll come here to your Unit 4 in Blackboard. Initially, you'll want to look over this appendix material from the publisher that talks about payroll, how we record it, how we calculate some of our tax withholdings to create payroll tax liabilities. And then here's the project detail. So you'll see they give you a trial balance. They give you various transactions that happened in the month of August, which includes 2 payroll periods. And then there's some adjusting entries to do. And then you'll go to the Excel spreadsheet and you will complete it. So here, if I open the Excel spreadsheet, all right, so we'll come down to our if again, and I know that you maybe have not all had Excel and you may not be real familiar with it. So I'm going to give you a brief kind of overview of how the spreadsheet works. So if you look down here on the bottom, these are all the various tabs. So the first tab you come to is the problem itself. So it's the same information that you have out there in Blackboard. So again, you've got your trial balance, you've got August transactions, and you've got adjusting transactions, and then your instructions. So then the next tab you'll come to is your payroll tab, and it gives you some information about the 2 employees. There's a manager who's salaried, and then another lady who is hourly. And the salary lady is already in here, but the hourly lady, you're going to have to figure out what are her regular hours, what are her overtime hours. And then it's going to calculate so here I've given you an example. So the first lady has her her FICA tax computed for her. I want you to do it down below. So if you look in this formula, it's really just the gross wages times 0.0765. So, so figure out how to kind of get that cell down below. If you can play around with your formulas or copy and paste it and just make sure it's picking up the right totals. For the FIT, that stands for our federal income tax. If we go down below, I've given you a copy of the page that's necessary. So the one lady is married with standard withholding and the other one is single with standard withholding. So you just go down, you know, it's a table, so go down and find where their wages is, carry it over to whether they're single or married, and then that is going to be what you put in for your federal income tax, again, the FIT. The state income tax, or the SIT, it says assume it's 2%. So again, you'll want to calculate that. You could use the formulas like I did here, or, you know, calculate those in to get your state income tax withheld. Then you'll go to your journal entry and you're going to actually record those. You'll have 2 entries. This set here will create 1 entry where you're going to charge salaries and wages expense for the gross wages. You are going to put these deductions into a payroll tax liability account, and then the net pay would credit cash. Then you'll have a separate entry that records the employer's payroll tax expense. These are set to automatically calculate, so when you figure out the gross wages, these will update with their total FICA, federal unemployment tax, and state unemployment tax. So you'll add those together and charge that to payroll tax expense, and then credit the payroll tax liability account, which is the same account that these withholdings will go to. And again, if you look through that appendix material, it should help to explain that a bit also. Then you'll come to your general journal and you will record all of the transactions that happened in the month of August. So again, going back to here, you'll have a journal entry for each one of these lines. When you come to the ones that say payroll, that's where you're going to use your payroll entries that you just calculated on that payroll tab. Once you have those in, you will go into your T accounts and you will update all these T accounts for a beginning balance if they had it. And again, that beginning balance would be provided in the problem. Up here, these are all of our beginning balances. And then, you know, map in all of your transactions from your general journal. Then once you have those balances, then you'll create your trial balance. You'll start with this before adjustment column. Then you'll come to your adjusting entries. And again, you'll list out all your adjusting entries that are given to you in the problem. So there is 6 of them. So here we have 6 different adjusting entries that need to be recorded here. And then you'll go back to your trial balance and create these columns after the adjustment. So you'll put in those adjusting entries. If you want to go back into the T accounts and put in the adjusting entries, you can do that as well. But just make sure you create these 2 columns for sure, because those are going to go into, that's what we use to create our financial statements. So then you'll come over to your financial statements tab, and here you have your income statement. Then we come down, we have our statement of retained earnings, and then our balance sheet. And then you're going to want to set those up and create those. Now, I didn't really put in the shell because I kind of wanted you to play around with it. But again, if you were in, like once you have your total revenues, you can use your auto sum to create, where it sums it automatically for you. So play around with that. If you have any questions, you can email me. But it's good to kind of get comfortable using Excel. And then like if you want to put in, like underline them, here's your border tab, so you can make it a top and bottom border. You know what I mean? You could so you can pick any of these that you would like to kind of how you see it set up. But try to mirror, like look at the book and play around with that to make it look as professional as possible. Then you'll have your post-closing entries and then your post-closing trial balance. So again, it's testing your knowledge, kind of taking it all the way from our beginning balance, adding transactions, doing payroll, doing adjustments, preparing our financial statements, and then closing. So again, it's a complete final project that covers everything that we've talked about in this course.